Imagine you're 14 years old and the biggest stress factor in your life is preparing for the upcoming science fair. All of a sudden, your world is turned upside down with a radical family shift. Your mom's pregnant, not with 1, 2, 3, or 4 babies, but 5 children. But you're happy? Yes, the pressure your parents were putting on you to succeed academically was too much. Surely a pack of screaming babies will help, drawing your parents' attention away and allowing you to pursue truer passions. Sound like a waking nightmare? Well, it's that, and one of Disney's most oft-forgotten and potentially hated DCOMs, Quints. Is this movie such a dud due to its undesirable concept? At the time of this film's premiere, I was only 7 years old with one brother. An additional 5 would have been way too much. It would not surprise me at all if this idea turned others off and made them skip tuning in completely. But let's review the film with fresh eyes, mine it for gems, and see how it holds up overall. Jamie spends a ton of time breaking the fourth wall and chatting with us viewers directly. She kicks off this film with a bold promise.
This is my story. And yeah, it's one of those girl finds herself, even though she didn't know she was lost, stories. But I promise you, it's not gonna be lame and it's not gonna be boring.
Jamie introduces us to her parents. There's Jim Grover, a store manager at the local home improvement store pursuing a degree to get a bigger salary.
And yes, Dad always has a plan.
And Nancy Grover, who publishes the town's local newspaper.
There's no nice way to say this, but she's a tiny bit scatterbrained. But still, we're used to it.
I'm getting a bit of an ungrateful brat vibe from Jamie. Like orange juice served in a mug. You'll survive, girl. At this point, you might be wondering, how can 2 middle-class adults afford to pay their mortgage, have 1 child, and pay for additional education? It was the 2000s, prior to the 2008 financial crisis, for context, but they'll touch on this pain point later on.
I remember this day, and you don't need to see what happened next to understand my story, so let's just move on, okay? Now, please, now. Fine. Let's just show you where I live.
As the story's narrator, Jamie should be able to share with us whatever she'd like, but the fact that she doesn't omit herself getting doused with juice leads me to believe there's something eerie going on here, like someone else is pulling the strings.
This is my house, and it looks like 90% of the houses here in Milford. Oh, and for those of you who aren't so quick,
Wait, what?
Milford is my hometown.
Jamie is testing us. Throughout the movie, she assumes we don't care, prompting a sort of call and response that's borderline insulting or self-effacing.
But the one thing that makes Milford famous is just a block to the east. Okay, so that's not really there. Just making sure you're with me.
She follows up a Statue of Liberty bit with a school assembly circus fantasy.
I'm telling you, this place is really great. Okay, I lied. The truth is, my school is like any other school. I mean, there are no circus clowns or acrobats or... Oh, hi, Jessica.
While you could write this off as daydreaming, I found it creepier than that. She addresses a cheerleader so directly,
Hi, Jessica.
it begs the question, did you body snatch the student body, Jamie?
I have to show you my school because I have to show you who I was back then.
The way they landed on this take is pretty telling. As Kimberly fumbles the line, they're like, yep, pack it in. That's it. That's the one. Also, this cotton candy is just so unappetizing. Like, give us the real stuff. At school, we meet Zoe and Brad, and Mr. Blackmere, the art teacher.
We want A's!
I hate you.
Maybe you should take my card, Jamie. That's all A's.
Hey, Mr. Blackmere, ready for art club tomorrow?
Indeed. 4-course Italian meal. Say, why don't you two join us?
No can do. I gotta work on my science fair project.
Having seen Jamie's poor grades, the group is like, maybe try art instead.
Don't be a drag-ola, Jamie. Science isn't your thing. Come to art club.
But let's hear from Jamie directly about the plan that her parents have in place for her.
The plan, in case you were wondering, was for me, Jamie Grover, to attend GW next fall. GW, also known as George Washington Science Magnet School. I felt pressure from my folks, pressure from myself, even pressure from the dog. Okay, we don't have a dog, but I think you get the point.
Weird dog joke, didn't land, but okay. They actually did a great job building tension in this dinner table scene and ramping it up with the overwhelming music.
Everyone loves to read your stuff, Jamie. Well, they know how special you are. People ask me all the time, is she going to be a lawyer, a doctor, or even a news anchor?
But maybe we're not doing enough to help you. You know, we want to give you every opportunity to succeed, honey. College and beyond. Oh, what a
great future you have had.
And we can't wait to watch.
I pick it when it comes to the map, zoom in or zoom out.
Jamie's hard at work on a science project, and in another one of her fantasies, she pulls an Oppenheimer for some reason, like literally go off.
Oh, get real.
But she doesn't win the science fair. Instead, the blue ribbon goes to Brad, who probably needs it. It sounds like he doesn't have the most stellar family life.
Super genius, you. Hey, I think Jamie's project's great, too.
Bradley, congratulations again. I'm sure your parents will be very proud.
Relieved, really. But it's something.
Jamie takes the news of her parents' pregnancy extremely well, like unrealistically well.
So, Jamie, your mom is pregnant.
That's great, Mom. Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Mom's having quintuplets.
We're supposed to believe that this nesting montage took 9 months, but they don't even bother changing clothes. Even if you dismiss that, you mean to tell me that you laid a drop cloth down 1 month and then painted the next? That's just inefficient, Jim. You're a home improvement guy. No wonder you haven't gotten a promotion or a raise.
Oh, honey, once I get my degree, I'm going to have a much better life.
Next, we head to the hospital for Nancy's labor.
Honey, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Genuine question, have any of you ever eaten a lollipop this big before?
It's a boy. It's a girl. To daddy.
Thanks.
This is so amazing.
Stating the obvious, 5 babies is too much.
Welcome home. Ha! And this is the new life I'd been waiting for?
Brad suggests Jamie will have so much time once the Grovers get a nanny.
So, do you feel different? I feel like drinking coffee. But after the baby litter starts today, why is your life gonna be so much better?
Jamie's not gonna have a surplus of free time, Brad. She's just not. Even so, Mr. Blackmere joins in, lingering stares and all, encouraging Jamie to pursue her heart's desire.
What should Jamie do now that she has 5 brothers and sisters?
4-course Italian meal. Make pancakes?
No.
Join art club.
Why? My heart just isn't into art.
Where is your heart, Jamie?
Here's the especially odd part. Somehow he has a picture of her that he drew prior to this conversation, down to her exact hairstyle. And do not try to tell me that he was sketching this while they were talking, because the details, the smile, the barrettes in her hair, the gradient lettering used on the t-shirt, it's far too detailed to have just happened on the spot, if you ask me. The family gets a nanny named Fiona, but I'm not going to talk about that because she's just generally the worst.
I'm Jamie, and that's Zoe.
Well, it's a pleasure. I'm Fiona, and this is my room, so bear well.
To avoid the chaos at home, Jamie does join the art club after all.
Have you ever closed your eyes and imagined? Close those eyes and then draw what you see.
Here's where we get a better glimpse of how Nancy and Jim are handling the finances of it all.
No. We have to send 6 kids to college. We can't afford coffee anymore.
You can't afford not to drink coffee.
Honey, you realize that just paying for diapers alone is going to empty our bank account. We can't afford to pay Fiona by ourselves. No. I can't work doubles forever.
Once I get my degree, I'm gonna have a much better life.
And I never see you.
Quints just weren't part of the plan, you know?
Taking advantage of her parents' fatigue and financial stress, Jamie shares that she joined art club in passing.
So, school's going great. Now seems a little easier, and I'm in art club.
What's that, huh? Yeah, that's good.
And then lets us know how she plans to leverage the situation further.
I loved that freedom. How much? I'll show you at dinner.
Fiona quits.
Oh, number 1 sneaks, number 2 flies, number 3 does number 1. Oh, what is it? Oh, I knew there was another one about somewhere.
When Jamie offers to take care of the kids, we get this nightmarish scene where she grows additional arms. It's giving Spy Kids 1 or 2, but not 3. Just as quickly as Fiona leaves, Albert enters.
The answer to your problems has arrived. Jim, Jamie, I am Albert Lensley.
This sleazy marketing professional has a plan of his own. Turn the Quints into income-generating influencers. Meanwhile, Jamie's advanced at illustration as quickly as an art instruction school infomercial graduate.
Call this number for your art test. There's no obligation.
Hold up. What's our friend working on? That is one busted bust.
I hated the way my siblings were always referred to as the Quints, but I guess I was alone.
They really did Jim dirty with this centerfold photo. With Jamie's newfound freedom, she can more accurately see that her parents are lumping the Quints together and forcing them into the spotlight. But I'm team parents gotta do what parents gotta do to stay afloat.
Mix 5 parts Quints with 2 parts parents and 1 part Jamie. Stir until frothy.
Ew, no. Jamie decides to test her parents by rearranging the Quints bassinets. Her parents, running on a few hours of sleep, I assume, struggle to do so. It's a weird lesson that again positions Jamie as a know-it-all that assumes the worst in people. When Jamie's parents miss the parent-teacher conference, Brad comes in to offer his point of view, positive as ever.
We knew your parents wouldn't come, but this is my mom and dad we're talking about.
Where would I be if I did it for my folks? I'm happy when I do well. You should be too.
Still should have been here.
Go tell them, Jamie. Don't tell me.
To make up for this mistake, Jamie's parents decide to incorporate her in the latest Quints commercial.
I want a different part.
The plot ramps up as Jamie learns her work will be featured in the main exhibit at her school's art show on the same night Nancy and Jim are slated to win a Parents of the Year award. If there's one moment where Kimberly fully flexes her Halloween Town acting skills, it's for this emotional breakdown.
You stupid, it's mine. Give it back. Our Parents of the Year. There's this big dinner in their honor. And it's the same night as the art show.
In my mind, it's the only part of the movie that's real with an accurate depiction of preteen angst. When one of the Quints, Adam, is rushed to the hospital, Jamie reconciles with her parents. She realizes that, like each of the babies, she's her own person with dreams and desires independent of her parents.
I guess with art, I finally found something that makes me happy. Can that be enough?
Honey, we only wanted these things that we wanted for you because we wanted you to be happy. Jamie, that's the only point of the plan.
But what about that art show and Parents of the Year award conflict? Jamie ultimately prioritizes her parents, which made her more likable to me. The movie wraps up with a light adventure. Jamie navigates mass transit to deliver her forgotten siblings to the party, and she makes it to the art show after all. Final thoughts. What made this movie so forgettable? Quints first aired on August 18th, 2000, meaning this film was nestled between 2 peak DCOMs, Johnny Tsunami and Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. But how was Quints received at the time? As of filming this, IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes sit at a 50% rating. Some of y'all might hate me for this, but the Emoji Movie sits at a 34% rating, and I would give Quints the same, if not a little less. In 2002, Figure Skater 67 said, "This film is terrible. This film is Disney at its worst. Every cast member in this movie lacks acting talent with the exception of Don Knotts. The plotline is the worst yet of the Disney Channel original movies, even though they all suck." I also find it incredibly annoying when Kimberly stops the movie to explain something totally irrelevant to the plot. This move is quite possibly the worst move I've ever seen. 19 years later, another reviewer, Laughing Tomb, commented, "1 out of 10. I just genuinely hated it. My friends often forced me to watch old Disney films in my downtime as I didn't really grow up on them, and I can safely say that this film is perhaps the worst disaster the world has ever seen before 9/11 up to that point. It's literally nothing but babies screaming and crying almost nonstop. It's nauseating, boring, and exhausting. Skip this one, even if you do have nostalgia for it. It's just bad." Well, maybe if I'd seen that earlier, I would have saved some time. Alright, that's enough Quints for you and me, probably ever. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and until next time, wishing you well.
Thanks for playing.